Hi, my name is Thaddeus. This is a brief overview of a project that I did with some colleagues for BPC, and I'll start with the Zbrush technique. Model out the chicken quickly in XSI, then broke the model up into overlapping polygroups, which I subdivided to the maximum poly limit. I then took several alphas of feathers and started placing them all over the model, generally following the flow of the body. This project was done fairly quickly, as we didn't have much time for it, about only 2 weeks. Everything had to be done on the fly. I only did a quick concept in 2D for the client to approve, and then we jumped straight into 3D. As you can see here, I'm just continuing to place these feathers all over, just kind of randomly. I'm switching between different alphas of various feathers. So yeah. After the first pass, I duplicate the model again, the lower body here, and start placing feathers on that. And the effect of that is basically that I can draw these feathers again, and they don't interfere with the ones that are already there on the other subtool, since this is a separate subtool that's just below the original subtool in exactly the same space. So just continue fleshing out the feathers, filling up all the spaces. And it's about good there. Just trying to make sure I have like an even distribution and they look somewhat natural. So I think it's about done there. And I'll just fast forward the video to the wings here. And pretty much the same technique for the wings. I took 2 duplicates of the wings, so they're cloned subtools, one on top of each other. Start drawing feathers on one, and then drawing the feathers interweaving on the other. And you can see this illustrated a little bit better here, as one of the subtools are shaded a little bit darker. So you can see how I'm taking the feathers on the other subtool and just interweaving them to fill up the gaps. So once I'm done with that, just mirror it over to the other side so I don't have to do the same thing, and start on the feathers for the body. And it's pretty much the same technique for this, so I won't go too much into it, just kind of fast forward through the video so you can see it. So yeah, it's pretty much the same procedure. You just kind of blend in all the feathers, and the nice thing about having the polygroups overlapping with the subtool is that you have some overlap to play with to kind of blend from one into the other. So yeah, it's pretty much done. And now I'm just kind of fleshing out some of the details on the face, refining the folds, the crest, and yeah, just kind of fleshing out those details a little bit more for them to pop in the normal map. Next I kind of start adding some skin texture, just with alpha stamps. Just again, so you can have a little bit more detail in the normal map, and also for the spec map, just to give some breakup to the skin. I mean, I'm not really taking a whole lot of time with that. As I said, didn't really have a lot of time for this project. But here's the feet. This is how I did the scales on the feet. Just pretty much draw a mask, invert it, take the standard move and move brushes to kind of pull it out, and then refine it. So yeah, those are the big scales, and I just use the scale brush from that comes with Zbrush. Kind of just quickly lay out some of the smaller ones, then use the same masking technique to pull out some more scales to kind of blend it in, so that it looks a little bit more natural. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. For the toes, pretty much the same procedure. I use the polygons to kind of mask out the segments, and then pull them out using the standard inflate and move brushes. Nothing really too complicated there. And I'll fast forward to the end of this, because this is all pretty much the same. So yeah, once I have all the toes finished, just use like some different alphas to just add some more high frequency noise, and just finish up on that. Once that's done, just copy over that leg, and that's pretty much it. That's it for the ZBrush part. Alright, so I want to go over the rigging really quickly. Rigging was done in Maya. Here you can see the final model with some polyplanes with feathers textured on them for the feathers to just kind of go along with the ZBrush feathers that I did. And I created a proxy model for the animators to use, so it'll be a little bit more quick response. What it basically is just geo that's parented instead of binded to the rig. And it's pretty much a simple rig, you know, basic setup, hip controls, stretchy controls. There's the foot peel is a little bit different. Instead of sliders, I use this object that you can either move or rotate to control the foot peeling off the ground. Standard foot setup with toe curls and spreads. The wing, there's the main wing controls, and then there's these boxes here which are basically shapers for the wings, for the feathers, so you can have a little bit more of an interesting silhouette, as you can see here, and shape those feathers how you want them. Mouth control, tongue control, pretty standard. I'll go through the face setup for a bit. There's a little bit of a fleshy eyes effect on the eyes, a couple blend shapes, ring motions, smile, frown, and eyebrow controls. So yeah, it's pretty much a standard rig, you know. The stars that were done here, there's a global control, so you can scale, rotate, and move them, or you can do them locally. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple rig. Here's the final ad. They were animated by Johnathan, Scoon, and Belina. It was all done on the fly as I was completing assets and stuff. The rigs were referenced in by the animators and updated, you know, as I'd complete things. So I gave them the rig initially with no textures, no feathers or anything, and they started animating, and I'd just emailed them updates for the rig as we continued. I wanted to highlight this project especially because it was quite an international effort. Omar is in Portugal, Corey's in Canada, I believe, and Johnathan was in Trinidad with me. Anyway, I'd like to thank those guys for all the help, and thank you for viewing. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was somehow useful to somebody.